I never thought my innocent backyard compost pile would spark a full-scale HOA war in our quiet suburb. But when Helen the president called the cops on me, it all changed in an instant. The blue and red lights flashed across my lawn on that bright afternoon. She stood there with a triumphant smirk, clipboard in hand, ready to pounce. My pulse quickened as the officer walked up with a questioning look on his face. I stepped outside calmly, trying to maintain my composure despite the absurdity. Helen immediately launched into her tirade about public health hazards and violations. The officer listened patiently, but his expression showed growing skepticism toward her claims. I had moved into this suburban paradise 2 years ago, seeking a simpler life. As a software engineer, I craved a hobby that connected me with nature daily. Composting my kitchen scraps felt like the perfect eco-friendly choice at first. The bin was discreetly placed behind my shed with proper ventilation installed. No smells, no pests, just rich soil in the making for my garden. Helen, however, saw it as a personal affront to her perfect neighborhood vision. She had ruled the HOA with an iron fist for the past 5 years. Her rules were enforced with the fervor of a dictator in miniature. The first warning letter arrived in my mailbox just 2 weeks after setup. It cited aesthetic violations and demanded immediate removal of the offending compost bin. I responded politely with evidence showing it met all guidelines perfectly. But Helen doubled down, sending follow-up notices and increasing the pressure steadily. She started chatting with neighbors, spreading subtle hints about rodent infestations nearby. The air at block parties grew thick with awkward glances directed my way. I felt the isolation creeping in like a slow poison in the community. One evening, I confronted her directly over the white picket fence between our yards. Helen, her voice dripping with false sweetness, insisted the entire street was complaining. I knew it was a lie, but I kept my tone measured and factual. This is sustainable living, Helen, and it benefits everyone in the long run, I said. She laughed sharply, calling it a ridiculous eyesore unfit for our upscale area. Her words stung, but I refused to let anger cloud my clear thinking. The complaints escalated to the city health department with wild biohazard accusations. Inspectors arrived, poked around, and left, declaring my setup completely compliant and safe. Helen watched from her porch, her face twisting in barely contained fury. She wasn't finished though, and soon the police were involved in her vendetta. That day the squad car arrived and my stomach tightened with frustration. Helen gestured wildly toward my yard, claiming illegal waste management practices. The officers inspected the bin, and one even complimented my organized composting method. Her plan backfired visibly as they dismissed the call as a minor dispute. This was the moment I decided to turn the tables with smart preparation. I installed high-resolution cameras covering every inch of my property line. Detailed logs of all interactions, emails, and encounters filled my digital notebook nightly. Late nights found me researching HOA regulations and state laws on property rights. Helen crossed a major line when she trespassed onto my land uninvited one day. The camera footage clearly showed her poking the compost and muttering threats aloud. She even spilled some material in her clumsy attempt to sabotage it secretly. Worse still, her email to the board revealed her intent to bend rules personally. I had copies of everything printed and backed up in multiple secure locations. Armed with this evidence, I began constructing my ultimate response in the garage. Using my technical expertise, I designed a high-tech ventilated scientific biolab. Stainless steel tanks, advanced sensors, and powerful HEPA filtration systems were incorporated. Temperature controls and mobile app integration made it a true engineering marvel. The system eliminated all odors and maximized efficiency for scientific composting research. Installation weekend transformed my backyard into a sleek, modern eco-laboratory. Neighbors peeked over fences with curiosity as the shiny equipment took shape. Helen spotted it immediately, and her outrage reached new hysterical heights quickly. She called an emergency board meeting demanding the removal of my new installation. The community hall buzzed with tension as residents filed in for the showdown. I arrived prepared with my binder of evidence and a confident stride. Helen took the podium first, her voice shrill with self-righteous indignation. "This industrial monstrosity violates every aesthetic standard we hold dear," she proclaimed loudly. I waited my turn, then projected the video and email for all to witness. According to the bylaws, scientific educational projects receive special exemptions, I explained calmly. The board members leaned forward, absorbing the clear proof of her misconduct. Helen's face paled dramatically as the room filled with shocked whispers everywhere. "You have no right to do this," she yelled, losing her composure entirely. But the evidence spoke louder than her desperate protests could ever manage. A senior board member stood and announced a vote on her leadership status. The decision came swiftly, with a majority favoring her immediate censure and resignation. Helen stormed out, slamming the door so hard the walls seemed to shake. Relief washed over the neighborhood like a fresh breeze after a storm. My bio lab now hummed quietly, producing premium soil for gardens all around. Former critics approached me sheepishly, asking for advice on starting their own systems. Helen faded from prominence, her reign of petty tyranny finally shattered for good. I sat on my deck one peaceful evening, enjoying the gentle hum of the vents. The scent of fresh earth mingled with blooming flowers in the soft twilight air. Who knew that standing firm with logic could turn a nightmare into triumph? The experience taught me that small powers often corrupt in the most ridiculous ways. Yet justice arrived not through anger but through patient, smart preparation instead. My suburban life returned to the tranquility I had originally sought here. And every time I harvest that rich compost, I smile at the irony. Turns out the best revenge is a well-ventilated scientific bio lab after all.